And we are live. Welcome everyone to our Sunday night sessions. I'm Tracy Jameson along with my co-host Val Smith. And we just love hanging out here on Sunday nights. We're never quite sure what direction the conversation is going to go. We've had a lot of really great conversations together this week, you and I, Val, and with a lot of other people. A lot of different dynamics out there. And, you know, we get asked a lot about, you know, you've got a lot of experience in this industry, network marketing, and you know, you and I've had a lot of conversations this week about the inner game that we have to do on ourselves. You know, and I know that you've got you did a lot of great teachings in that several years ago with Mentors in Motion, and I think that it really is time for, you know, people to understand. You know, people want definitive answers about picking up the phone and, you know, how do I make that call? What do I say? And you know what, it goes a lot deeper than that, but it's also a lot simpler than that. And I really think that you know, people want scripts and they want to be, you know, led down a very definitive path about what to do. And I think that it's you know, that you've got such great insight and wisdom about, you know, working that path between the two ears. And I think that's the biggest environment that we have to work on individually. So anyways, you know, go in any direction you want to go. The floor is yours, buddy.
Tradition. We got to do this. Do you have a little brew there? Yeah, it's tradition. Yeah, there we go. Cheers.
I got my green tea. Yeah, cheers.
Great to be on the call, dude. Okay, so what do you want to talk about? No, I'm just kidding. Just had to do that. The big thing that's on my mind this weekend is it's all about manifestation. And Tracy, you I don't know if you remember what you posted. I kind of remember part of it, but I don't know it verbatim. You posted something tonight that was really powerful in one of the chats in regards to the inner 80%. You know, you talked about the inner. Do you remember that on Facebook? You posted that not too long ago in a chat. You talked a little bit about the inner.
I'll find it.
Yeah, well, go find it. I'd like you to read it if you can find it while I ramble on here, because I thought it was very powerful. I mean, I could tell you what you said, but not in the exact words. You did it so elegantly in texting to people. It's got a rock and sock. I mean, the interesting thing is, you know, you have to understand that most of the things out there on the internet, I watch these experts out there, you know, marketing their systems. We always seem to have a hit on this. I'm not going to spend any time really talking about it, but you know what? There's a world within, there's a world without. The world without is a total reflection of the world within. There's nothing else you need to know. I mean, really, when you think about it. So if the world within is a reflection of the world without, by running out to all these systems, methodologies, buying all these books, tapes, videos, audios, everything, how is that going to better my life? I mean, realistically, I think Anthony Robbins is smart enough to tell you that most of the people that have taken his course over the last 20, 30 years have got superficial benefits out of it. And then there's a small percentage that created testimonials for him and whatnot that said, hey, you know what, it bettered my life. And I think that's a beautiful thing for those that did their work. But most people don't want to do the work on their inner self. I'm just looking for something here. Oh, by the way, thank you very much for this. Oh. Talk about manifestation. Listen, I want to talk. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Look who's got one too. You got one too. Look at that. There you go.
Yeah.
The twins, Ollie and Wally. So hey,
there you go.
So and this was a manifestation. You know, this was a manifestation. One of the things that you and I talked about is getting the hat. And you know, we talked about that 3 weeks ago about getting the hat. And what we did is we manifested in reality. I didn't know how I was going to get the hat because when I was on the phone with customer service at Organo, they couldn't take the order for the hat. They weren't going to take the order for the hat. They said I had to order it on the internet. And that just seemed to be a little bit of a cumbersome process. And then all of a sudden I get a hat in the mail. And that's the beautiful thing about the universe or you know, tapping into the universal flows, because you just never know. You put a dominant thought out there. The dominant thought out there was just strategically thinking about how we could get one of these really cool hats, Organo gold hats, and really wanted one. And that was a very, very strong dominant thought. And I'm going to play that out in a second. I'll explain to you what I mean by dominant thoughts, as I take people through a captain and crew technology here that I did back in Mentors in Motion. But it's pretty amazing how everything, you know, manifests in the reality, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything, you know, that you want. Like, check this out.
Sweet. Hot Wheels.
Isn't that cool? You're probably wondering why is this guy bringing his Hot Wheels to a call. It's a 1967 Chevelle SS. It's
Nice.
pretty cool. So what happened was I manifested that tonight. Just going to go through this here very quickly. Here's a 1966 Ford 427 Fairlane. My brother had one of these, a real one.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here. I went shopping tonight, but I ended up bringing these home. I didn't go out for these necessarily, but I thought about them. This is a DeLorean. This is Back to the Future. This is a DeLorean, everybody, Back to the Future. And then I'm going to show you something else here. Tracy's probably wondering what I'm doing. Here's a Dodge Coronet from the 60s. That's like the Super B. And you're probably wondering why I'm doing all this stuff, bringing my dinky cars to a presentation. Here's a Porsche. Okay, that's a 934 Turbo. That's pretty cool. And I got a few more here. I got to go through this exercise because there's a whole purpose to what you're probably thinking the guy's crazy. Okay, there's another Dodge. That's a Dodge Charger. What year is that? That's a 69 Dodge Charger. Okay, Hot Wheels. All right, and what else did I pick up? Oh yeah, I like this 71 Dodge Challenger. 71 Dodge Challenger. Check it out. Great movie, The Vanishing Point. I love the movie Vanishing Point. And then what I've got here is a Ford GT. These things are probably, they came back out. They're like 200 grand. So, and I'm almost finished, believe it or not. So I want to explain to you why I'm pulling all this stuff out as we journey along here. What else do I have here? My little collection of cool cars. Here's a Cuda, 71 Cuda, Plymouth. Okay, and then this here is in 1963. This is the year I was born. It saw 63 on it, so I had to buy it. Did you hear what I said? I had to buy it. Had to. So there was a will inside of me that had to own these. So what happened is we went shopping tonight. Maya and Ethan saw this big bin full of Hot Wheels, so I walked over to it. We didn't go shopping for Hot Wheels. Trust me, we didn't go shopping to buy these cars tonight. Not at all. But what happened was I was going through the bin with the kids. And as I was going through the bin with the kids, I saw these really cool cars. As a matter of fact, I saw tons of cars in there, some that I had no desire to have, no desire to own. And I saw these. And I looked at them. And this isn't the first time that I saw these Hot Wheels in this store. I've been kind of watching these Hot Wheels for, honestly, probably about 4 to 5 years. Because as a kid growing up, one of the things that I used to do to escape the pain of my childhood is I'd go into my room and close the door and I'd play dinky cars. I'd play with Hot Wheels and set up the track and drive the Hot Wheels on my bed and all. Cars were my escape. So cars are a big part of my life, and I happen to own some nice cars in real life as well too that I can personally drive. So I had a relationship in my mind with cars, and so as we were sitting there, we were looking at the cars, and then we were walking away because we didn't go to the store to buy Hot Wheels. We went to the store to get kids items that they needed for the school week and things like that ahead, just prepping them and whatnot. But Trace, the most dominant thought while I was walking around in that store is I couldn't let these Hot Wheels go from my mind. I didn't want to let them go. So we're there getting items that the kids needed, but my brain wasn't there. They were there superficially, but I was every minute of every second, I was back there thinking about those Hot Wheels. I was thinking about the Hot Wheels. I was thinking, I have to have those Hot Wheels. I have to have those specific cars that I just showed you tonight. I said, they're mine. I have to manifest them. So what did I do to manifest them? Turned the buggy, went back to the bin, and I picked out all the cars that I felt I had to own. It's as simple as that. I manifested these cars because I felt the will inside of me. I will own those cars, and it's not that they're expensive or anything, but that's how things work. You see, I could have just walked by and said, no, well, I can't have that. Well, they're little cars, what's an adult buying cars for, blah, blah, blah. I could have had every excuse in the world why I wasn't going to manifest those particular items, right? But what I did is I went back. It was such a dominant thought in my mind, it was torturing me. I had to own those Hot Wheels. And I really felt that I had to go back and get them. I thought, there's a part of me that said, well, the kids are here, and maybe, after I drop them off from school tomorrow, I can come back to the store, drop them off at 8:30 in the morning at school. And then I come back because I have the day open. I can come back and go to the store and shop around and buy them and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? I wasn't willing to wait either. And that's the way things are in the game of life. If you want something bad enough in your life, you put it out there, and the universe will find a way to bring it back into your life. And I'll demo some things here tonight that I want to show you from Mentors in Motion. It's there. It's real. Everything we have, everything behind me right now is a manifestation. The redwood in the background and things like that, and the Kung Fu soldier guys in the back there. You can see over my shoulder there with the samurai swords, and everything outside of me that I'm looking around at, from a Michael Jackson thing that I'll show you in another presentation, to the 2 lamps, to the desks here, from everything. I mean, there's just everything I'm looking around at here, the globe. It's all a manifestation of an inspired thought that became a thought, and then it transpired into a conversation, and then that transpired into opening up a wallet and purchasing these items. There was something inside me that said, everything that I have around me, even some of the garbage stuff hanging here. I mean, I'm looking at snorkeling equipment over in the corner there and things like that too. All those things were a manifestation of a thought. It wasn't just like, well, stay in bed and be brain dead, and all of a sudden you're going to be surrounded by, all these different items, and the color of the walls and the lamps and, everything around me. This conversation, this being on a hangout, was a manifestation. Everything is a manifestation. So what I wanted to do on tonight's call is I wanted to show you a diagram of how things kind of work out. But before we do that, I have a very strong suspicion that you found what it was we were looking for on Facebook. You didn't find it?
It's vanished. But I did say something to the effect that, about the inner journey, and but it is about showing up. And I've posted that a couple of times. About 80% of the success for people is in showing up. And that's the part I think that actually really befuddles me. Or I don't understand that, there's so many people out there, and, God knows we've talked to a lot of them in this last week or so, that
yes.
People, they talk about wanting, success, or they'll come and be part of a business. They won't join it. They won't show up. They won't do anything. And the next minute, that they're off doing something else. But they don't, all the resources are here. And I think that was what I was getting at, was the resources are here. You've got people that have walked before you. You've got, your success is massive, and for a reason. And you've shared all of that knowledge with people and created more millionaires in doing so. And yet, that's that journey between people's ears, is they won't even show up. They won't be a student of the industry. They won't study the people around them. And yet they wonder why they're still broke. They haven't had any success with their business and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know where it went. I don't know where that post went.
You kind of touched on it there. It was a really, I just like the way that you put it in words. I believe it was in maybe Mentoring Millionaires, or it was in the Organo one. I think Curtis was in on the chat too, and a few.
Possibly.
But the reason why most people are screwed up on the internet is because they want these things. They want's position of poverty. Want is a position of when you want something, it's poverty consciousness. I mean, and people that are in the position of want, what do people want? The want, the key word is want. These things, when I sat there and showed you my Hot Wheels tonight, all the Hot Wheels I bought tonight, I didn't want them. I own them. They're mine. I owned them before I got to the store. They were mine. I had a claim on those. I put that out there 4 years ago, that one of these days I'm going to buy my kid these Hot Wheels, kind of for me too. I'm not supposed to tell you that too, but Ethan's going to get credit for having them. It's a daddy thing, right? I get to use my son, but I will have them. Everything. So everything that I have, I'll give you another example. Maya and Ethan, 8 and 9, going to be 9 and 10. Benita and I were together well before Maya and Ethan were born. And we didn't think there was any physical possibility of having kids. It wasn't happening. It wasn't manifesting itself. And then the truth is, Benita and I had a conversation one day. We just kind of, had a conversation. We just kind of sat down and we were kind of prioritizing our relationship and our future. And we talked about these things. And we talked about, we looked at each other. We had this look. It was an eyeball to eyeball look. It wasn't like, hey, yeah, kind of like one of those type of things. Or it was a total attentive, intimate, intense conversation. And we said, let's have kids. And we kind of, you'd think it's a joke because we didn't think it was physically possible, one time, but it was just really strange because we broke protocol. And it wasn't that there was anything going on. There wasn't any birth control or anything like that. I mean, we're older people in the game of life. We're having this conversation. And 1 week later, she got pregnant. After we had this command, it was like an absolute command out there that we will have a child, even though the odds are stacked against us. Physically, it's not supposed to be possible. And then maybe about a week and a half later, she got pregnant. And then Maya came into the world, which was a beautiful thing. And then after Maya was born, we immediately said, let's have one more. So Maya would have someone in her life when we're dead and gone. We thought like, oh my God, here we are 44 years old having kids. And, we already have a 33-year-old, 28-year-old, 21-year-old, and then Maya and Ethan are 9 and 8. And we're thinking like, we've got this little bundle of joy. She's just born, but she's going to be alone because there's such a drastic age difference, with the kids. They're going to be like her aunts and uncles, if anything. And then we just said one more. And then I kid you not, a couple of weeks later, Benita got pregnant again. It was really, really, really amazing.
It's a knowing. It's like, I always say to people, it's like when you make the decision.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I can't explain it to people. When right?
Exactly.
Actually, I did find this here, Val. I did find it. It was in a private chat. That's why I couldn't find it posted. I said it all starts with you. Your paycheck reflects the inner work you do, and 80% of that is in showing up.
Read it one more time.
Okay. It all starts with you. Your paycheck reflects the inner work you do, and 80% of that is in showing up.
And most people don't show up. And so when Maya and Ethan were born, Benita and I both showed up in order to manifest the end result, that something had to take place, and action had to take place in order for that to happen. And then, through, I call it through divinity, it was divine for them to even be born because that wasn't supposed to be physically possible. I don't believe anyhow. So they have their purpose, they have their place in the game of life, and they had to come in order to do whatever it is they want. So physical manifestation, a form of action has to take place. You just can't say, well, I want this and I want that, and then go watch TV. I mean, you can. I mean, people do that. The internet is, people on the internet are pretty much asleep. Most of them are asleep. They really are focused on wants, and you don't see the tenacity. You don't see the aggressive personalities out there, staking their claim. This is mine. This is mine. And people need to understand that. When you take a look at greatness like Michael Jordan, when you take a look at greatness like LeBron James, when you take a look at greatness like Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, when you take a look at, greatness like Wayne Gretzky in hockey or Pelé in soccer, they owned the puck, they owned the ball, they owned the right hook, whatever it was going to be. It's whoever has the stronger will. And we saw that in a UFC fight a few weeks ago. Two females were going at it. Ronda Rousey and can't think of the other girl's name. Her last name is Holmes or something. Ronda Rousey, was predicted to destroy this girl in in a couple rounds. Well, Ronda got knocked out. She's never been defeated. She could beat up most men, and this one girl just knocked Ronda out and knocked her off her throne and stuff like that. So somebody wanted something bad enough, and the problem with marketers on the internet is they won't will these things into their lives. They won't take that want and turn it into a will. They're two W words. They have an excuse for everything. But they don't mind spending money on stupid programs. They don't mind spending money on dumb programs. They don't mind spending money on lottery ticket mentality programs. They don't mind spending money on welfare programs. Everyone's looking to spend 10 bucks and get 500,000 out of it. It really kills me on the internet when you see somebody put, spend 25 bucks and, make $55,000 a month. I mean, go to the vet, honestly. It's just sheer stupidity. And it's just really unfortunate that there are people out there on the internet that allow this to take place, that actually promote this type of stupidity, this type of ignorance, this level of consciousness out there on the internet. And I'll help people understand why this happens right now. So I'm going to do something. Can you see that? You can see that, right? So I'm gonna do something tonight. So if I were to ask people to get a pen and a paper, I don't know, Tracy, if you even want to do this, if you have a pen and a paper close by, but no, you do. Way to go, girl. You're awesome. All right. So
I always have a pen and paper, Val.
Yeah,
You know me.
I shouldn't have even said that. I already knew that, but I just had to play it out for the camera. But anyhow, when I ask people, this is what I used to do back in Mentors in Motion. I'll give you the short version because the long version of it's going to take me probably about 45 to 60 minutes to do, but I'll give you the short version of it tonight. So, when we talk about the mind, when I talk to people about the mind, the M-I-N-D, people say you're out of your mind. A lot of people think the mind is the brain, and I don't believe the mind is the brain. I think the mind is the totality of the body. So if I were to say to somebody, draw a picture of yourself, draw a picture of yourself, but do it like this. Take your pen or your marker. I hope this one works for me. Take your pen and your marker and draw probably like a pizza, a round circle, about 5 inches in diameter, if you will, or 6 inches, whatever you want. You could do whatever you want, like you want to draw it. So it kind of looks like that. All right. And what I'm doing, oh, way to go, Trace. I'm drawing a picture of myself. So what we do to draw a picture of ourselves is do a stick person. All right. And that's how I would draw a picture of myself back in school, back in the early grades. Not the neatest, not the greatest artist. We already have one artist in the family, maybe two. But anyhow, so now what I want you to do with that stick person is go right across, divide it in half, right there. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then in the top half, right? This is you. This is the totality. This is the mind. The M-I-N-D. This is you. It's all intelligent. People think the mind is the brain. Well, let me tell you something. The whole body is intelligent, and you'll understand tonight that I'm not kidding when I say that. I'm just gonna put little boots on the dude, and I'll put little hands on him. All right. So in the upper sector here, write captain. Okay, and then in the bottom half, write the word crew. Okay, you'll see it backwards on the video, but I think you understand what I'm doing. So I want you to think of a show, Tracy, like Star Trek. In Star Trek, you had William Shatner, who played the captain, and he always dealt with Spock, or he dealt with Scotty or Dr. McCoy and things like that. And sometimes they would give him advice. They would give the captain advice. But no matter what would happen, who had the final say?
Captain.
Captain always has the final say in the game of life. If you're on a ship, it's the captain. If you go on, Northwest Airlines, if you go on Air Canada, whatever it is, the captain basically controls the airship, which is an airplane. Captain says who's allowed on his plane, who's not on his plane. If there's any nonsense going on, it's the captain that makes the ultimate decision whether or not somebody stays aboard the ship. And they did it back in the good old days, back in the pirate days, when people walked the plank. The captain, no matter what, was the judge and the jury in everything we do in life. So if the captain really has all the power, the captain really controls the crew. And just like in the USS Enterprise, the captain controlled the crew on the USS Enterprise. The crew, even though it might be thinking something else, potentially speaking, the only thing the crew can say is, you can put this in brackets, is yes. Yes. Okay, that's all the crew can do. No matter what, it can only say yes. So now in the real world, right, I got the glare there. In the real world, what are we looking at? We're looking at the captain being the conscious. Just write conscious in there. Conscious underneath. That's the conscious mind. You won't see it as clear as mine. And the crew's going to be the subconscious. So you can write subconscious in there. And then I put two little antennas on his head there because they're receptors. Okay? Those are receptors. They take in data information. I'm really not drawing an alien, although it might kind of look like an alien. I'm really not. I'm just proving a point. And then what happens, Trace, from one receptor to another, I put like that, like a little electric current going there. Kind of goofy, but I put a little electric current there. All right. And what that is, that's energy. And you can write, you can write energy anywhere on there, frequency, the whole gamut. So now what happens is in the game of life for all of us, you know, we're brought into this world. Not only is it a traumatic event for a mother giving birth to a child, it's a traumatic event for a child coming through the birthing canal. So what happens is we show up to Schoolhouse Earth as a baby, as an infant coming through the, you know, coming out of the womb and into the real world, and we get a whack on the tushy for showing up to class. So we're punished for showing up to class, Schoolhouse Earth. And then we start becoming shaped and molded by what? What happens is, as a baby, and as we start getting older from a baby to a toddler, you know, to adolescence and, you know, the teenage years and whatnot and the youth, we're constantly being bombarded by information. Okay, we're constantly being bombarded by information. It's coming at us. It could be coming from our parents, our teachers, our religious beliefs, our educational systems, our TV commercials, the neighborhood we live in, the peers, the friends, just everything that we see, do, touch, smell with our eyes. We're constantly taking in information. All right, and that information can be invisible. It can be done through music. It can be done through noise, whatever it is. You know, we resonate with a vibration. You can write vibration down there. You can write resonation down there. Frequency. We're constantly being bombarded by information. You know, bandwidth going through us. I mean, God only knows what's going through our bodies, just at, you know, at an invisible level in the environment. We're constantly being bombarded. You know, things that we see in the store. We're constantly receiving information. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about receiving information. Okay, I'm doing the short version here because I could go on to a real philosophical approach to it, but you got to put this down. Be, do, have. Okay, I just put it there like that. Be, do, and have. All right, a little messy on my behalf. So what happens is we're taking all this data and information in, and I'll give you an example. Some people come from a religious family, therefore they're going to go to Sunday school, or they're going to go to mosque or temple, or to you know, the synagogue or the church, whatever it is they practice at. They're going to be influenced by whatever it is, whatever culture it is. And what's happening is we're constantly getting hit by information, whether it be religious, whether it be a doctrine at school, a curriculum at school. Sometimes our parents could say, you know what, I'll show you the ugly side of things. Your parents could say you're dumb and stupid. Nobody wants you. You're dumb and stupid. Look at your marks in school. You're useless. Go do your homework. You know, you're constantly doing nothing positive. You don't do anything around the house. You do nothing. You're just, you know, I don't even know I had you, whatever it is. I'm just sharing with you, you know, some realities. So what happens is that information is constantly being taken in by the captain. And the captain is taking this information, and all of a sudden the captain's passing that information on to who? The crew. The captain's giving the crew an order, and obviously, you know, very important people in my life. My parents, they don't love me. They said I'm unworthy. They don't, you know, they want nothing to do with me. You know, I'm a piece of trash, whatever it is. I don't feel good about myself. They said I'm fat or too skinny or ugly or gross or pimple face. So what's going to happen when the captain keeps hearing this information? It's going to be taking data, just like when I was in the store tonight, told you about those Hot Wheels. You know, the captain was telling the crew, those Hot Wheels are mine. So because the crew, the subconscious mind, loves you more than anything in the world. It loves you more than anything in the world, even more than your dog. Subconscious mind loves you more than anything in the world. That all it can do is say yes. Yes, I'm fat, I'm ugly. Yes, I'm fat, I'm unworthy. Yes, I'm stupid. Yes, I'm dumb. Yes, nobody can love me. Yes, nobody would want me in my life. Yes, people want to alienate me. Yes, people want to bully me. I'm worthless. I feel nothing positive about my life. Whatever it is, I'm showing you the ugly side. And so what happens is the captain's giving the crew that order all the time, and because the subconscious mind loves us more than anything. And how do I know that? Because I'm sitting here on this call consciously thinking about what I'm saying. I'm not consciously thinking about the blood running through my body every 60 seconds back to my heart. I'm not thinking about my kidneys, my liver functioning. I'm not thinking about keeping my heart going. I'm not thinking about keeping my brain alive. The subconscious loves me more than anything in the world. It's fighting disease in my body. It's, it's handling all the things that we consciously don't want to do. It's got its own job. It's taking care of us. And so as long as the captain's giving the crew orders, live in the bad part of town, do drugs, drink alcohol, prostitute yourself in a sexual world, whatever it is. Give yourself up for all the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever all these things are for males and females. We will manifest and bring that environment into our lives. We will create, we will be, we will do, we will have, we will be the ugly person in order to do things that ugly people will do in order to have that end result. We will create these things, and then you can do it in a beautiful world. Oh, my son, my daughter, they're an incredible pianist. They are absolutely wonderful. My kid's an honors student. My kid's incredible at hockey. They're fabulous at sports. Everybody loves my child. My child's a superstar. They get on stage. They speak. That's more information going into the receptacles right there, going to the captain. The captain's telling the crew that, hey, you know what? You're an incredible person. You're great on the piano. You're talented. You're gifted. You're beautiful. All the kids love you at school. Your parents are just, they dote all over you. They think the world of you. You're an honor student. You've got so much going for you. You're a teenager that's mentally healthy, in a great position. You got a part-time job. You got the whole world going for you. You live in a great community, a great house. Oh my God, you got a pool in the backyard. Whatever it is. So really, everything that's going on in our lives, I'll give you the short version because I could rock this out. Everything that's going on in our lives, every event that's happened to us in our lives, every millisecond of our life, people wonder why things happen to them. There's no secret. There's no secret to it. The captain tells the crew to do it. Go to a party tonight, get stoned. Whatever it is. Go have sex. I'm throwing this out there. Go out there on the internet and be a loser. Go out there and find a business opportunity, and and don't manifest really what it is you say you want, but you're afraid to will have it in your life. So as long as people are wanting from a position of be, do, have, you must be poverty in order to do poverty, in order to have poverty. You must be stinking thinking in order to do stinking thinking, in order to have stinking thinking and results. People on the internet screw their lives up, not because of the system, not because of the company, not because of the compensation plan, just because of the captain and crew. There's nothing else. There's nothing. The conversation stops right there with an exclamation mark and a period. You can't blame people. You can't, we talk about scams, pyramid schemes. That is ridiculous. That's just a journey. It's an illusion. Money is really no value anyhow. It's a man-made value system. Doesn't matter if you lose money on the internet. Doesn't matter if you lose money in a business opportunity. It doesn't take your life away. It doesn't shape or mold you. It doesn't have to unless we allow it to from the captain and crew. Every bad thing that's happened to me in my life, even with my parents, captain and crew, I chose to be in that situation. Everything is a choice. I choose to eat the food. I choose to drink the beer. I choose to be faithful or unfaithful, whatever it is. Everything that goes on in our lives, guys, be, do, have, it's captain and crew, and there's nothing else. I'm sitting in this chair tonight because the captain said I need to sit in the chair. The crew found a way to get me to walk over here to sit in the chair, to manifest sitting in the chair. I wasn't consciously thinking about it. I was drinking coffee. I was carrying a bag, but my body just somehow automatically got into this chair. Do you ever remember when you drive a car? I'll show you how to do this. So how do you create success in your life? To create success in your life, there's got to be a conscious thought that keeps bombarding the crew. And as fast as we cease to let go of the conscious mind, the captain, and allow habitual patterns to come into our lives, like showing up to all these calls over and over and over again. Imagine getting into a habitual pattern of being in a business opportunity and not showing up to the calls. I mean, how idiotic is that? and I shouldn't really be saying that because you shouldn't be calling people idiots, but you know what? I think they're idiots because
but that is the whole point to it, though. That's the whole. I mean, that is really take it down to the common bottom denominator, is that people that, like I said, 80% is showing up. If you show up, then you're going to start getting information. If you don't show up, you're not going to get the information. Nothing will change. If nothing changes, nothing changes. And that's the part I think it's so simple, and yet people still won't do that very simple step. And you still keep getting that kind of dialogue going, where it's not me just telling myself something, it's actually listening to other people and other good information. And so that's eventually, it's going to change the way I think, then it's going to change the way I do. Guess what? It's going to change what I have. And you know what? It's so simple. Why can't people just show up?
People just beat the hell out of themselves. People have just beat the hell out of themselves. If you take a look at third world countries, you take a look at third world countries, these people will walk to church, walk to synagogue, walk to the mosque, and they'll walk 10 miles or more. And they don't have cars, and they'll go. Why? Because the captain tells the crew they need to get out. What religion gives people is hope. That's what religion gives people, is hope to take the pain away. My life is miserable, or else they believe in something, which, that's cool too. I mean, I believe in something too. So, but, a lot of people use religion as a crutch to take their pain away. And then there are some people that are sincere that they really want to worship. So people will go to unbelievable lengths in order to escape the pain. And that's the difference in North America. When we talk about people in second, third world countries becoming millionaire, because their captain is telling the crew that we're in a really bad place. We don't have water. We don't have hydro. Coffee is an industry. This could be our ticket to freedom. Network marketing, the model network marketing, can be a ticket to freedom, and utilizing coffee as a vehicle because it has mass appeal more than anything else out there in network marketing. People will consume more coffee than any other product that could be marketed through network marketing outside of gasoline. They'll use that as the vehicle to get them to the promised land. They will it into their lives more than they want it. And that's why you're seeing people in second and third world countries using the captain and crew technology to get out of the cesspool they live in. The pain is just too great. And, I can tell you, if you can see it here with people, why do people spend money on the internet all the time, even though history repeats itself? Because the pain is so great, it's not functioning right, it's not working out for them right in that company, so they'll jump to another company. They'll pay the money to escape the pain, hoping that this new whatever it may be, a new environment, is going to take the pain away, but they're forgetting that who they are is the be, do, have. You can't escape that until you change that. You can't escape the captain and crew. You can't take a child that's got the daylight speed out of them and, totally, verbally, mentally, physically abused, and tell them to become a millionaire overnight by throwing them in another business opportunity. They have to heal the pain. They have to do their work. They have to change the whole programming of the subconscious mind. They've got to cleanse the hard drive right out. They've got to have an antiviral software that eliminates all the viruses that are in the software that hold them back from being, giving them their divine birthright. And some of us broke through. You broke through. You've had challenges in your life. I know your story. You know my story.
Lots.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And but you see, we could have been on the dark side of the. We could have been on the dark side of the world. We could have been in a position, Tracy, we're not even alive today.
Well, you know what? That's very true, Bill. And you know what's very interesting about a lot of conversations that I do have with people, and you know what? Like I always say to people, we all start at the same place, right? We all start at the same place. You talk about like the Ray Higgins, the Tal Falcones, Val Smiths. Everybody started at zero. It's what we did, what we were willing to risk along the way, what we were willing to do, and do over and over and over again and learn each one of those. But it's interesting because some of the conversations I've had with people think that, oh, well, you know, you've got it really good. You've done this, you've done that. And I go, wait a minute, let's back that truck up again. Because remember, let me share my story with you. And then people are going, really? And I said, let me go back through the archives and just share all the things that did happen to me. Yeah, there was some really rough moments, and you're right, I probably shouldn't even be on this earth at this point several times over. However, in my mind, I've never been a victim. I mean, I've had some pretty nasty things go on, but I've always focused on the forward, on where this too shall pass, this will go. This is just one of those lessons, and I do get those. Oh, I get it. Not at the moment, because sometimes we have to be in some very painful places for it to push us out. And you know, if we are sitting in complacency all the time, then there's nothing enough to push us forward. All we'll do is bitch and complain about it, and nothing will change because we don't change. But if you're, and I look at all those things that did happen to me as a lot of gifts. I mean, you know, people may challenge me back and say, oh, you had some pretty nasty things. I said, yeah, but it changed me. It changed me for the better. Maybe at the time it was a transitionary period that I had to really go deep and look at who I was. And this industry has been no different than that. You know, I thought I would have it in the bag when I thought, oh yeah, I'll get into this industry. I got a corporate background. I got some business intelligence. I've got some people skills and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, I tell you, I was thrown out there center stage, and I mean, the sweat and everything, it was like I was like reduced back to zero again. And it was like I had to go and rediscover, or discover maybe for the first time. I had to go discover for the first time who I really was, who I wanted to become. And that was through modeling after people who I wanted to become like. Component. It's like the buffet. You know, you go and take this, you cherry pick all the right best parts of people that you like to model after. And of course, there's also those people that you cherry pick that you don't want to be like too, because there's a lot of people like that out there. So, you know, it's about really, it's like you said, you kind of, you take all those components, all the best of the best, and you put it all together, and then you create yourself. And that's what this industry is all about. It's about becoming the best you and being able to share with people the journey that you've been on, so to let them know that, you know what, hey, you're going through the same thing that we already did. So why don't you show up and hear our story, so that you know that you're pretty much the same as everything we've done through too. So, and I think that's the part where people forget. They think it's just, you know, I buy a product and then I go and I sell it, and I can't get anybody to buy my product. It has nothing to do with the product at all, right?
Yeah, until people understand this, there's nothing they can do. There's nothing that'll save them on the internet. Until people understand the captain and the crew technology, they're done. And I was very fortunate, very blessed to have this come into my life in a really, really bad time in my life. You know, just really bad time. In this, for me, understanding this was the major breakthrough. And I don't know if I brought them here. I probably left them out of the room here. But I was very fortunate to be exposed to the master key system. And if anyone gets a chance to go through the master key system, there's a book, and then I've got the CDs I was going to show you tonight, but I think I left them outside
I
of the
have
room.
them here too. They're amazing.
Yeah, and you have them. They're
Yep.
deep, written in 1909, published in 1912, taken out of circulation. People that had this information back in the early days, they had the advantage over anybody. So it's kind of like, you know, you think about, you know, World War I, the type of weaponry they had in World War I. But when you understood the master key system and really what it was applying, the super rich had access to this information back in the day, you know, from the Rockefellers on down. The biggest families on the planet had access to it. And when you have this access, you dominate and control everything. And then when I got access to it and learned a little bit about this, that helped me to understand why every event happened in my life exactly the way it did. And I started taking small steps in thinking about things that I could do. What would it be like to do a conference call? And then, you know, 3 months later, I got thrown into a conference call and I was puking and all that stuff. I told you that story.
Those are good stories.
But when you start thinking about these things, I realized that I was in a really bad place, living in a basement apartment. Life wasn't good. Had no cash flow coming in. Just really thinking about, you know, survival mode. How am I going to get through the next week? And then all of a sudden I started thinking about this and started thinking about the things that I was uncomfortable doing. Like, what is it going to take? I just can't sit here in this, this place and sit here in this environment and be around these same people that I'm around and be thinking the same way. I had to find a way to progress. So I started meeting people that were making a little bit more than me, got into conversations. They took an interest in me, and I found as I was climbing the ladder, people were taking an interest in me even more and more and more higher up the ranks. And so I was leaving the old behind because the captain was giving the crew an order to take me out of the basement and start bringing me towards the penthouse. And you just don't know when it's going to happen, but you've got to give yourself permission for it to happen. And the big problem with the people on the internet and the ones that just sit there and socialize on the internet and feel good about being a victim or feeling good about, the little group they're in, and, oh, well, my business is going great. Your business sucks. And it sucks for you, not the company, but it sucks. You tell people the truth. When somebody asks you, how's your business doing? Just say, it sucks. Why? This is a lie detector test. You can take a look at it. This is a lie detector test. Captain and crew, just talk to somebody. Listen to the way they speak. Listen to the way they posture. Listen to what makes them nervous, what doesn't make them nervous. This tells you everything. I can tell you where somebody's at after 10 seconds of talking to them. I can tell you.
Yes, you can. You can get me into your words.
Really. And that's scary because this allows you to be the master. This allows you to be the master of the key. And that's what I'm talking about. Imagine being in World War I and having the World War I ammunition and then taking that on with, what's going on with modern day technology. Imagine F-15 fighter jets flying in World War I. Imagine, the weaponry, the arsenal, the laser guided missiles we have today being used in World War I. Whoever owns, the next generation, I can't get the words out. I'm thinking you have the leading edge in technology. Whoever has the leading edge in technology is going to come out the winner. So it's always going to be checkmate. So it's very predictable when you understand the captain and crew and exactly the relationship and how it works. The crew loves you more than anything in the world, that it will go to bat for you, for the good, the bad, the ugly. The crew will defend you being a victim forever. The crew will defend you being in a scam forever. The crew will go out there day in, week out, month in, year out. 2015, 2020, you'll still be in the same shitty programs today because the crew is going to go out there and find them for you because it loves you more than anything in the world. It's going to give you exactly what you are.
Yeah. Stinking
thinking. It's going to give you crappy programs. It's going to give you something to bitch and complain about. Why? Because that's who you are.
And something that I've had to do, and it's like I have to take a mental stock. It's like you have to go and really take a good look at what's going on. It's like cleaning your house, cleaning your mental house regularly. And I've done it every few years. I'll kind of, there's maybe some people that you shouldn't be around that are influencing you in the wrong direction. And, there's nothing, people grow at different rates, and sometimes they're not going to grow right now. It doesn't mean that you have an obligation to spend all your time with those people. You need to go and raise yourself up. Always go and be searching out the right people that are going to feed you. They're going to feed you emotionally, mentally. They're going to be creatively together. And you'll never honestly believe how you will grow from doing that. And I've done that on a few times that it's been really scary, actually, from a group that I networked with years ago. And I just felt like I was dead. I was dead stuck. I was going nowhere. Same thing when I left my corporate career, 31 years. Everybody there was stuck. And I said it was sure death for me. I was going to have a stroke. I was going to die there. And there was nothing emotionally feeding me, my brain or my intellect or my creativity. And so I've done that a few times in my life where I've kind of taken stock, and I've basically completely left and gone out on my own and say, you know what, I'm an adventurer anyways, but just go and say, that's not working for me anymore. I need to be fed. I need to grow. How can I best do that and assist myself in doing that? And that's to leave that environment. I'm not telling anybody to go quit their jobs. That's not my intent.
Yeah.
right? I don't mean that. I mean that for me, that was a very toxic environment for me. It was a group that I was working with that I felt I wasn't growing. I needed to remove myself from that and go. If I was going to make mistakes, they were going to be my mistakes, and I was going to own them. But you know what? I made lots of them, and I'm not afraid to make mistakes. And I think that's the biggest thing that people today is that they'll try something once and they think that that is it verbatim, that that's the way things are because they tried it once and it didn't work. And I think that that's where people need to give themselves a little bit more latitude to actually go out and be able to make those mistakes, learn. That's the only way you're going to learn. You're not born with the knowledge to do things. You got to go out and fail a few times to learn how to do them properly, and then analyze it and learn from other people, and that's the journey, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the whole process is a journey. The whole process is a complete journey. And we could get into a philosophical and get into tangents about personal experiences in life. But let's just talk about this technology right here for a second when it comes to smaller things in life. I mean, on the internet, for example, think about all the people out there on the internet that say, my plate's too full. So if the captain's saying the plate's too full, what's the subconscious mind going to do? Over and over and over again, create the habitual pattern of being stuck in a hellhole on the internet. When people say, well, I can't afford it, I don't have any money, whatever it is, I don't have any money. What's the captain telling the crew and reinforcing over and over and over and over? I don't have any money, I can't afford it. Don't have any money, can't afford it. Don't have any money, can't afford it. The captain, because the crew loves you more than anything in the world, it's gonna make sure your pockets are always empty. That you're gonna be a broke, broke whiner. It's just because the captain is giving the crew the order, and the crew manifest the most dominant thought over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's unbelievable. People just don't get it. They don't understand how powerful this is. They don't understand they're their worst enemy. People don't understand that they're scamming themselves. It's not the company, it's not the internet, it's not the product, it's people, because they're attracting it at a subconscious level. They're bringing it into their lives because of who they are and what they represent in everything they do. Can't succeed, can't do that, can't bring two people in, it's too hard, whatever. You hear what we're saying? So what happens is the subconscious mind loves you more than anything in the world. It's going to bring it into your life because it loves you. And you can try to trick it a little bit. Oh, well, this company's going to be better this time around. No, it's not, because the subconscious mind's so programmed, it knows who you are. It knows you're lying. You can't do that with the subconscious mind. You got to reprogram the whole system again. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, thoughts are things.
Yeah, you got to reprogram the hard drive again. You've screwed it up already, so now you got to go back to repro. You just can't say, oh, well, if I just do this tiny thing and say, oh, okay, I'm going to make money in this program. This is going to be it. That is beyond ridiculous, pathetic. But people don't understand it. It's this. This is your best friend or your worst enemy, and that's you. Nothing else. Take full responsibility. And that's what I mean. When you all hear me talking about going from the basement to the penthouse, it's personal growth going up the ladder like that. It's going up from thinking and being down here and having conversations with people down here and having self-conversations with yourself to stretching out a little bit and coming here 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 and working your way all the way up. And that's what I was able to do. I went from thinking like, man, being quiet, shy, scared, introverted, and being a nobody in this industry and watching the superstars on stage. And then I became the person to do over $700 million in sales. Not bad for somebody that was down here in the basement that didn't think anything positive of himself. And not just me, but a lot of people are like that. And then taking your game up to superstar status. There's no secret to making money. People are sitting there thinking by buying Ray Higdon's course or my course or Todd Falcone's course, it's going to better their lives. It's going to give them great information. And it can enhance the skill set to some degree. But unless people deal with this, all the great courses on the internet aren't going to do anything. Aren't going to do anything. When you take a look at Todd, what did he do? He worked on the captain and crew. Take a look at Ray. Listen to the interview I did with Ray. Ray had nothing. He asked his wife, he said, honey, just give me 2 years. I need 2 years, when they had nothing. And then look what he's created for himself now, because he kind of went from the basement to the penthouse. And he had to change, you know, the relationship between the captain and crew. Anyone that's making money is definitely utilizing the technology of captain and crew in a positive way. They found the secret. They don't even know. You ask most successful people why they're successful out there. Go ask Eric Worre. Go ask Ray or Todd, or ask them why they're so successful. I bet you they don't even know the answer unless they watch this. There's the answer right there. Captain and crew, 2 words, nothing else. There's no other answer. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else. It's not because they're wearing Nike running shoes that makes them more successful. It's, you know, it's not because, you know, they shop at a certain store that makes them more successful. Whatever it is, it's got to come from here. And that's the manifestation. Everything was a manifestation. The captain told the crew it wanted an OG hat. I wanted this OG hat pretty bad. And you and I had that discussion. And so what I did is I put that thought out there in the universal bank account. I had no idea how that OG hat was going to come into my life. Maybe I'd recircle around and go back on the internet and order it, but I knew I was going to own one, and 3 weeks later it comes in the mail. You release it to the universe, you let go, you put that thought out there, say thank you, thank you, thank you, and watch. That hat came in the mail, courtesy of you. Thank you very much. And that was a surprise from you. Yeah. But still, that was because the frequency, the energy went out there. I put it out there. You knew it was out there, and you put into action a couple other situations to make that happen. You had Joan in on the equation. The work that went into getting me this hat was like unbelievable. Lots of work went into getting that hat, but the universe found a way to manifest it. Thank you, Tracy, for that hat. It found a way to make it into my life as a physical manifestation, even though there was a lot of work involved in doing that. It wasn't just like, hey, go to the internet and order it.
But, you know, Val, I think that I want to make sure that people don't misunderstand the fact. I mean, you know, there was a lot of talk before about The Secret and about the law of attraction and all this kind of stuff about thinking about it. And just thinking about it isn't going to make things miraculously appear in front of you. I mean, there's the intent. You have to do it with the intent. You have to know that thoughts are things. You have to truly believe it. But then, of course, there's the activity, the do part of it, right? There's the do.
Yeah.
There's the do part.
You got to put the ball in motion. You got to put the ball in motion. But even still, you can release it to the universe. You don't even know when it's, you know, how it's going to happen. Right. You know, we for example, I'll throw some little Mickey Mouse things at you. You know, we wanted who was it? Gosh, I'm sorry. Not Maya. Oh, we wanted Taylor Swift tickets. Right. They were sold out. So we kept talking. We had this conversation with Taylor Swift. So we're looking in the papers and stuff. Taylor Swift. We get a phone call from our neighbor. Hey, I got 4 Taylor Swift tickets. You want them? We're focused. Our subconscious minds are focused. We're looking for ways. We're going through the papers, going through Kijiji, and all of a sudden a phone call. Hey, I got 4 tickets for Taylor Swift. You don't know how the universe is going to bring things into your life. And you know, people. You know, this is where I outmaneuver the people that are out there. You know, set your goals, set your goals, set your goals, set your goals, set your goals. That's how I know. That's how I know who's been trained properly. When I see these speakers talking about goal setting, I know that there's still a very large side of them that are amateurs. They haven't been trained by master trainers like I have. I'm not a master trainer, but I was trained by people that put those people to shame on stage. This is not goal setting. Forget goal setting. When you understand the captain and the crew and the relationship with the universal spiritual laws, that's goal. You don't need goal setting. Goal setting's an illusion. It's just a man-made facade that a whole bunch of, you know, young up and coming and, you know, a lot of people love that stuff. You know, they just love that stuff. They love goal setting, and they think they're all great running around. Hey, you know, I teach you again. Get this course. I'm going to teach on goal setting, and come to my webinar. And we're going to do, you know, set your goals for 2016. Never set goals for 2016. Forget 2016. You don't have to wait for 2016. You don't have to wait for 2017. You don't have to wait till next Friday. Understand the relationship between the captain and crew, and understand how things come into your life. It's an absolute command. It's an absolute command. I didn't set a goal to get all these Hot Wheels I just showed you I bought 10 Hot Wheels are coming in my life whether I like it or not, because that was the most dominant thought. I had to have them in my life. So they found a way to manifest. I wanted to be on this call tonight. I didn't set a goal to be on this call tonight. So, what I had to do is work on my anxiety and fears and stuff. I'm coming to this call no matter what. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a goal. So everything that we have going on, like, buying another automobile, we got another, Lexus and stuff like that. That's not a goal. That's just, it's an absolute command. Saw it, looked at it, said, wow, okay, made a decision in 5 minutes. It's mine. I'll own it. Okay, what do I need to do? That's not a goal. You don't have to set goals to be successful on the internet. You just got to understand the captain and crew, change your thinking, and start working your way up and leveraging, taking the steps needed, and building the relationships and having new conversations with people and people that are, out there that might be a little bit better than you in the game. Sorry, Trace, go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Having the conversations with people that have more experience than you, so you can learn from them. But one of the things that I have admired about you for a long time is your commitment level. Your commitment level is right here. You always show up. Always, 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 always. And I know I can rely on you because I rely on myself. I know I'm going to be there. And again, goes right back to the beginning again. You know what? You have to show up. And if what would happen, Val, if I didn't show up or you didn't show up, and then, people say, well, they're not going to show up. We're not going to show up. That's the disease, right?
That's the sickness. That's the sickness. That is, so just imagine, you've got an investment in several McDonald's franchises. So what do you do? Because, the person that has the keys didn't show up, even though you have keys, doesn't mean you can't show up. Somebody's got to show up. It's your life. It's your business. It's your world. And that was it. And when the person who tricked me into doing the conference call that night for the first time in my life didn't show up, guess what? The call didn't come to an end that night. Everyone just didn't say, oh, well, so-and-so's not on the conference call tonight. They all said, Val Smith's out there tonight. Val, you're doing the call whether you like it or not. And then I started puking. But you know what?
That was probably one of the biggest stepping stones in your whole life, because you got pushed into the most uncomfortable position that you didn't choose to be in. However, it was a blessing because it pushed you one step. You can't ever go back to who you were before, right?
That one call was worth over $30 million to me. That one call was worth over $30 million to me. If I never did that call today, I would not be where I'm at today.
Isn't that amazing? People don't get that.
Amazing. Unbelievable.
Yeah, people don't get it.
I know we get carried away on these calls. I get pretty intense on this, but I
love it.
It's just,
I love it.
It's just because most of the stuff being taught out on the internet is so ridiculous. I mean, this is not an autoresponder. This is not a lead capture page. It doesn't matter how many autoresponders or lead capture pages you have going out there. It doesn't matter how many you spend $1,500 on that system. You can have that system. Just because somebody else has that system, they're doing well with that system, doesn't mean you're going to do well until you can have a relationship that is in synchronicity, in harmony, harmonistic with prosperity. All the capture pages in the world, all the new technology, all the new Apple 6s in the world aren't going to save you until you have this down. You can't. You just can't. It doesn't work that way. And it's so freaking easy. You can teach this to a kindergarten child, but all these adults don't get it. That's the part that makes me just want to pull my hair out even more. I get a little bit left there. It just makes me want to go ballistic. Come on, man. You're pitching a new deal and you're throwing all this cash in a garbage can and, look at cash blowing in the air. You know how stupid these people look on the internet? They don't even know how stupid they look on the internet.
And something else too, Val, is the part of this that really flabbergasts me too is about Organo and their partnership with the Napoleon Hill Foundation, Think and Grow Rich. It's all part of the same. I mean, it's the same process, right? It's more millionaires were made through that Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. It's the same thing. It's all about the mind thought process, and people aren't even utilizing that. So again, they still got to show up.
Funny, you just triggered something. I think I figured it out now. You know what? Speaking about organo, whether we're in organo or not, the reason why organo really hasn't taken off in North America is I know. Here's the answer right now. I gave myself the whole answer right here tonight. Captain and crew. People in North America are used to crap. People in North America, love crap. They love shiny balls. They love crap. They love garbage. People in North America, love money games. People in North America love to go against universal spiritual principles. They really, really do. And the reason why organo hasn't taken off, in North America, coming to think about it, is because it's too good for the people in North America right now. Until people get their thought process in harmony and synchronicity, we're talking about $1 billion company. You think North American network marketers think like $1 billion company? Represent $1 billion products? Represent products for the masses? No, they're too self-absorbed. They're too caught up in what flies are attracted to. Honestly, that's the truth. It's too good. But in those other worlds, those people understand that they're worthy of having that in their lives. They're ready for that. North Americans aren't ready for that in their lives. North Americans are looking for easy street. They're looking for the easy way out. They're looking for the lottery ticket. They're looking for welfare. They're looking for spillover. They're looking for do it for me. They're looking for microwave marketing. They're looking for popcorn. Stick it in the microwave. 30 seconds later, it comes out, and I'm rich. People in North America aren't worthy of organo. Are you kidding me? That's why some of the leaders that went into organo, tried it out for 3 or 4 months, they're not there anymore. You know why they're not there anymore? They're not worthy of being there. Why? Because they're attracted to you-know-what. They're attracted to carcinogenic products. They're attracted to toxins. They're attracted to things that hurt people. Yeah. I believe that. That's a strong, bold statement, but you know what? I will stand behind that. Yeah. I know that. I know that for a fact, because I talk to some of these people. They tell me they're all about the money. Val, screw the product. I don't give a rat's ass about the product. I'm there because that's where the action is and that's where the money's at, and I don't mind playing out in that facade. I'll tell people, I'll stand in front of a room and feed them a line of shit, whatever it takes. Yeah. But as long as the money's there, I'll do it. And when the money's cut off, you'll see me to do something. And I'm in those conversations.
The sad part about that is that, is the companies fall apart because, either the regulatory bodies come in and shut them down, or it's one of those, you pay it once. If it's a one-time payment, there's a red flag because there is no residual out of it, right? So, and that's the disease in this industry. People will get in, they'll get their money fast, they'll go to the next one, and then there's a lot of shrapnel left behind. So, right? That's yeah. Captain and crew.
Hey, I think we had a pretty good, rant session tonight. I don't know how you feel about it, but I think it was pretty good. So we manifested a pretty good rant session that'll probably rock some people's worlds and shake some people up a little bit. But so be it. That's just the way it is.
Well, you know what, Val? All we can do is if people show up, and then they can start learning, and we know where we're going.
Yeah, when people are ready to get their life right, they'll take a serious look at this stuff. And they won't be filling in. They won't be treating effects with effects. Got to go back to the cause, and the cause is this: Captain and crew, nothing else. And until the cause is straightened out, every business in your life, whether it's hyped out, smoke and mirrors, it's always going to be it's going to be like a cancerous tumor.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyhow, Trace, thanks for such a great session. It was wonderful. I loved it. I got this off my chest. Anytime I can bring the captain and crew out and stick it in the face, it's almost like talking to God. Not referring to me, but that stuff is God right there. That's the source. That's the source right there.
There it is.
You can't cheat God, and you can't cheat the universe.
No.
That's just the way it works. So anyhow, guys, listen, love you in spirit. Trace, great presentation. Thanks for the opportunity to jam with you tonight. Love these Sunday night sessions. And, we'll be rocking out a few more. So,
me too.
I'm done.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks for joining. It's recorded, so it'll be up posted here as soon as we click the button off. And Val, always a pleasure. We always have so much fun and get deep into thoughts. So thanks for hanging out with me tonight. And thanks everybody for joining us as well. So we'll see you again next Sunday night on Sunday Night Sessions. Bye for now.
Good night.